Good evening. I'm Faith Leonard.
And I'm Rebecca Omick. Here's what's coming up next on Panthervision.
A political message and graffiti. We'll explain.
I was like, oh, that really could have been him.
This man says he was the last person to see Thomas Hecht alive. We'll tell you what he saw.
And later in our newscast, we'll show you how recycling is becoming fashionable.
All that and more coming up on Panthervision.
From the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, this is UW-M Panthervision. A weekly newscast reported, written, and produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. And now, the news.
Good evening. Some of those political messages you've been seeing around campus are being classified as graffiti.
As Panthervision's Michael Meidenbauer reports, the messages might end up costing some students more than a can of spray chalk.
Around campus, you'll see the remnants of the recent Student Association election. Spray chalk slogans and ads from student political parties. UW-M's lead painter Juan Zaragoza sees something else when he looks at the pavement.
Anything used to write on the sidewalks does not come off with rain, it'll be looked at as graffiti.
UW-M's policy says that spray chalk has to come off by itself with a rainfall, without the use of a power washer. Zaragoza says that hasn't been the case.
We noticed a lot of it all over campus.
He says the university may have to contract a costly cleanup.
Based on how much I've seen that's out there, you're probably looking at maybe $15,000.
SA Senator Jesse Brown says he and other campaigners didn't know about the rain rule.
We didn't know anything about, how long it could stay, how long it couldn't.
Brown says they took cues from the spray chalkings about the recent union renovation.
We kind of saw that the union had done it and figured, if they're going to do it, we should be able to do it.
That's no consolation to Dwayne Feeney. He's out power washing chalk while Zaragoza waits on a contractor estimate for the rest of the cleanup.
Just within this half of the campus, there are 204 to be removed.
Feeney says the cleanup is cutting into his regular job.
People want to know why stuff isn't getting done, why their rooms aren't painted, and why things aren't looking nice and neat. When we have issues like this.
Zaragoza advises students to be mindful of the spray chalk they use in the future.
Make sure that if it rains or just with water, it'll be removed. Otherwise, you could be held liable.
UW-M police were unavailable for comment on whether they will issue citations for these chalkings. In Milwaukee, I'm Michael Meidenbauer for Panthervision.
The chalking policy can be found on UW-M's webpage.
The policy states that any postings on walking surfaces outside are legal as long as they can be washed off by the rain. Some spray chalks don't wash off in the rain, so the policy advises students to read the label carefully. Any message that needs to be removed with a power washer is considered vandalism. Students could be required to cover the cost of the power washing. The policy specifically states chalking can only be done on walking surfaces. Any messages on buildings, like the one we found promoting the annual hunger cleanup event, is considered vandalism. This chalking was on the Lubar School of Business building last week. The chalk is still visible, and there is no word whether any tickets were issued.
We have new details tonight in the death of Thomas Hecht. The 28-year-old UW-M alumnus went missing after the Water Street pub crawl last month, and his body was found in the river 2 weeks later. Tonight, Panthervision's Tom Momberg talks to one man who claims to have seen Hecht moments before his disappearance.
I'm standing here on the Milwaukee River, just south of where Thomas Hecht's body was found on March 22nd. His body was identified the following day at the coroner's office. An anonymous source suggests that he was the last to see Thomas Hecht alive, just here at the Beer Line B apartments. This local resident has asked that we secure his identity due to the nature of his concerns.
When I first saw the person, I was like, they're intoxicated by alcohol or drugs or something, because I think we've all seen the drunk stumble, and this was a sway from right to left. But then when he was right below me, it was like 30 feet away, and he looked up at me, and I looked down, and he kind of had a half like smile on his face, and then that was the last time I saw him.
Our source tells us that he was initially skeptical that it was Hecht, based on the news reports that followed.
Then later, when it was released that he left Rosie's like 9:30 instead of 10:30, as time went on, when newer pictures were released or more recent ones, I was like, oh, that really could have been him.
This source says that he told police about what he had witnessed. They told him that they were checking all of the areas and cameras that he had suggested.
Because being the bars down there, and the walking path of someone who lives over here would be the same path I'd take to Water Street. Why were they focused way up the river going towards North Avenue? I did mention that didn't make sense to me.
Schlitz Park, west of where Hecht had been found, has since increased their security patrols.
I've never seen any crime around here or anything, and even that night there was nobody else, or nothing suspicious. What I want to say is that if you go out with friends, go out with friends and stay with them. Don't go by yourself.
It has just been released that Hecht had a blood alcohol level of 0.22. In Milwaukee, I'm Tom Momberg for Panthervision.
Hecht's death was ruled accidental, but Milwaukee police are still reviewing evidence.
2 former Marquette students are under investigation after allegedly installing spy software on university computers. The investigation comes after keystroke logging applications were discovered on 2 university computers. The suspects were identified from surveillance video. Both of the former students have been arrested and have admitted to installing the software. Charges have not yet been made.
The Kony movement may receive a lot of attention on the internet, but online activists failed to take real action, at least in our area. There was little response to Facebook events asking people to protest against Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony by going out Friday night and hanging posters. Supporters managed to hang no more than a few posters throughout the campus community. Kony became a well-known name after a YouTube video documenting his actions toward people of Uganda stirred up anger around the world.
UWM students will once again enjoy free parking next semester, this time in the Klachi Pavilion. The Student Association has now approved the Fair Parking Bill, which provides funding for the free parking. The bill allocates $6.50 of segregated student fees for 200 free parking spaces. There is a similar arrangement in the Northwest Quadrant parking garage this semester.
Congress is considering clamping down on use of federal funds for college recruitment. At issue is for-profit colleges using federal money for advertising. The bill would prohibit colleges from using money for advertising that comes from federal student aid programs. That includes the GI Bill and Pell Grants.
UWM's lease at an incubator for water technology has been approved by the State Building Commission. The university is leasing the top floor at a former warehouse on Pittsburgh Avenue for about $570,000 a year. It will be used by the School of Freshwater Sciences and the College of Engineering and Applied Science to bring water technologies developed at the university to industry more quickly. Other tenants include Badger Meter, A.O. Smith Corporation, and Veolia Water North America. The building renovations will begin this summer and will be finished in early 2013.
Coming up next, we'll tell you what had students trading work for food.
And is the weather calling for more April showers?
We'll find out when Panthervision returns.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Thanks for watching UWM Panthervision, judged Best Student Newscast by the Northwest Broadcast News Association. Panthervision is produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in association with Milwaukee Area Technical College.
Some students are taking time to help their community.
And as Panthervision's Lila Girl reports, they're helping one dandelion at a time.
It's a beautiful morning in Milwaukee. With rakes in one hand and coffee in the other, students are ready to battle overgrown weeds. Not to mention, they energize themselves with some dancing. Students gather in Spates Plaza for the yearly Hunger Cleanup, an event where volunteers help elderly neighbors in cleaning up their yards.
We hope that by doing this event, you will be inspired today to make good decisions for yourself and your community.
Thank you so much again for supporting this event, and have a great day, everyone. We have a few quick announcements.
Freshman Anna Crow is among the students to volunteer. She and her two friends are delighted to help out their neighbor and to enjoy the weather.
Well, I think it's just a great opportunity to get out into the community and really get to know some people.
From picking up trash to pulling weeds, Anna and her friends laugh at jokes and squeal when they see spiders.
Right there! Oh, it's not that big.
All three girls are members of Habitat for Humanity, and helping others is not new to them. With the lack of tools, they are not afraid to get on their hands and knees to get the job done. Anna thinks students should get out and help more often.
I just encourage everybody to really take the opportunities that you find here at UWM to go out and help out your community, because it's so easy to do. Oh yeah!
In Milwaukee, I'm Lila Girl for Panthervision.
This year was the 10th annual Hunger Cleanup. More than 500 students volunteered for the event.
An interim chancellor has been appointed at UW-Eau Claire. Gillis Bokwe will take over until a permanent chancellor is hired. He replaces the current chancellor, who is leaving for a job in Salt Lake City. Bokwe is currently the dean of UW-Madison's International Studies.
MATC is undergoing a makeover with construction improvements on campus. And as Daryl Holman reports in today's MATC report, the changes will help you know where you're going.
MATC has been undergoing a makeover. Small things from adding new signs to help students find their classrooms to major projects like stripping down floors and repairing damaged roofs. We sat down with a couple students to find out how it is to go to MATC during construction.
You know, I think the signs that they're putting out front are really a good idea. You know, ultimately it'll be something to help new students and people who aren't, you know, or who just aren't students here who are coming in from the outside. It'll be easier for them to find their way around. So I think that's a really good thing. Plus it looks nice, you know.
Well, I mean, I only really go to the C building, but when I'm coming down the hill from the parking lot, I can definitely see it. After spring break, it was quite a surprise.
Not all the projects are a pleasant surprise. Some of them can be downright aggravating to these students.
It doesn't seem like they're doing all that much as to what we've been having to deal with for the entire year so far.
I mean, it's for the greater good. You know, ultimately there will be a lot nicer facilities, everything will be new, but unfortunately we're the crew that basically has to deal with the construction phase while it's, you know, going on.
I don't know. I don't like how long it's taking.
So far so good. I haven't had any like lights fall on my head or ladders collapse on me, so I think it'll be okay as far as that goes.
For Panthervision, I'm Daryl Holman.
Tom Momberg now is here with weather. it going, Tom?
All right. Hi, ladies.
So I'm just wondering, are my allergies going to get any better? They just keep acting up every morning.
Well, today might not be so awesome, but during the rest of the week, you know, it's supposed to be a little lower, low wind, you know, pretty clear skies. Next week, we're probably looking at a little more rain starting on Sunday this weekend. So essentially, for the first, we have clear skies, low winds, and sunny for most of the week. But once again, we're going to have low pressure, a little bit of a warm front moving in over the weekend, and looking at some rain on Sunday, most likely. Now, moving on, the current conditions today are going to be, it's about 47 degrees right now, dew point's 21 degrees, and pressure at 30 inches on the barometer, and it's mostly sunny. The high today is 54 degrees, and winds, again, low, just going north. Most of the storm systems that we're seeing are headed way out to the east, and we're looking at low winds about 9 miles per hour, and precipitation, not a huge chance of that. Mostly sunny, hopefully, but as we move in to what we were looking at last night, the lows were 35 degrees in Milwaukee, pretty cool all the way around Wisconsin, even out west toward Eau Claire and Rhinelander. But, you know, the lakefront effect is going to affect us today, as we're seeing about 54 degrees in Milwaukee, which is actually the coolest in Wisconsin today. Out more further west, we're looking at low 60s. But moving on into tonight, probably going to look at about 35 degrees overnight, mostly clear. Again, low winds, but allergies will be high, at least the tree pollen, especially overnight. Tomorrow, high of 60 degrees, low of 44 degrees, north winds of 12 miles per hour. And Wednesday, high of 58 degrees and low of 39 degrees. South-southeast winds, again, low at 11 miles per hour, and we're really going to start seeing some clouds to form. But as we go on into the rest of the week, like I said, probably looking at some showers over later in Sunday. Allergies should be better for you, though, Faith, as we move on. Humidity will be high, but you know, it's spring. April showers bring May flowers, right?
They sure do.
Well, students at MATC are preparing for Student Operations Day. AJ Panyasopa is following one of those students as he continues to learn the tricks of the trade.
Because a lot of times I'll get stuck in meetings.
My name is Kevin Kate. I'm a second-year student at MATC and Milwaukee Public Television. This is my last semester in the program, actually, and right now we're working on the student ops programs that are going to be airing on May 12th. It's been a grueling couple of weeks. I mean, this week in particular, I've been trying to shoot about 4 different parks all within a week and talk to 3 different people. It's been pretty intense, but also a lot of fun. I mean, when you're doing something that you have a real passion for, you don't really notice the lack of sleep or the amount of hours you put into your program. It's just you're doing something you love. Well, my show, it's called Walking Down the Scenic Path, but it's a show about some of the key different parks in the Milwaukee County area. I grew up, I would go on many different bike trails with my dad back when I was young, and I really admired nature, and I wanted to show the public different sides of Milwaukee that they can go to experience nature in all its finest values. So when I decided to do my show, I wanted to show people something that something that was close to my heart. Well, when I graduate, obviously, I want to get a job at some sort of television station or somewhere doing shows, preferably either like documentary style or travel channel style like I have been. I did one earlier in the semester. But someday, I want to own my own business. I'd love to do weddings. I've done a couple of them beforehand, and it's just really a whole bunch of fun, and you can, edit them together. It's really, I want to be my own production company. So that's the dream someday.
Coming up, we'll tell you how the UWM sports teams have been doing while on the road.
And later, we'll tell you how to reduce, reuse, and recycle in a fashionable way.
All that and more when Panthervision returns.
This is where powerful ideas lead to proven results. This is where you belong.
Thanks for watching UWM Panthervision, judged Best Student Newscast by the Northwest Broadcast News Association. Panthervision is produced by students in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in association with Milwaukee Area Technical College.
The tennis team hits the court in Milwaukee.
And the baseball team hits the diamond. Michael Meidenbauer joins us now with sports.
The UWM men's baseball team played Youngstown State this past weekend at Henry Aaron Field. The team played a doubleheader on Saturday, where juniors Cale Tassi and Eric Semmelhack combined for 21 strikeouts. Cale and Eric are the first starting pitchers to record 10 or more strikeouts in both games of a doubleheader. Sophomore Sam Koenig is also making news as Horizon League Player of the Week. He says the team played well defensively and will keep improving as the season progresses. The team's next game is this Tuesday at 3 p.m. versus Northern Illinois. The UWM women's tennis team is compiling an impressive record, but with little recognition. Panthervision's Henry Williams has the story.
After Thursday evening's loss to UIC, the UWM women's tennis team attempts to clinch a record-setting finish against Detroit. This year is one of the team's best seasons ever. Their 7-0 win over Detroit not only grabs them the third seed for this weekend's quarterfinals, but also leaves them with the school record. After the match, Coach Shine Mickey Ernie expresses how proud he is of the Lady Panthers.
We've had a very good season, so I think this was a great cap to the regular season.
Megan Gow, a senior and the team captain, has won 29 singles matches and 27 doubles. She claims a double win in her last home match.
It's a little bittersweet. I mean, it's exciting, but at the same time, a little sad to be leaving the girls and to be finishing up my tennis career.
Along with Gow's tennis career, the Panthers wrap up their regular season at the club, but she sees even more for next year's team.
Next season, I expect they're going to do even better than this year. Two girls are coming in that are extremely good players, and I think they're just going to keep growing as a team.
Coach Sean Mickey Ernie says his expectations are sky high.
I think that this was definitely a step forward into what our real goal is, which is becoming the best team in the Horizon League. And I think definitely this was a statement to the league that, you know, that Milwaukee is on the right path and we're planning on staying here for a while.
Panthers will open up the tournament in Indianapolis, facing Detroit once again. In Milwaukee, I'm Henry Williams for Panthervision.
Up next for the team, the Lady Panthers will be playing in the quarterfinals of the Horizon League tournament on April 27th in Indianapolis. The men and women's track team is also getting attention after their weekend meet in Kansas. The Panthers' records are UWM's best ever results. Junior Durrell Busby broke his own school record in the 110-meter hurdles. Senior Shelby Shaw broke the school heptathlon record and took first place in the relays. Her record stands in the top 30 in the nation. The team's next meet is on Saturday at the Marquette Invitational. The Marquette women's basketball team has hired a new assistant coach, and you may recognize his name. 21-year-old Tyler Summit has been on the court since he was just a toddler. He is the son of legendary University of Tennessee women's basketball coach Pat Summit. She is the most successful coach in NCAA history, with a record of 1,098 wins and only 208 losses. Marquette hired her son on the day that Summit announced her retirement. She's leaving coaching because of early onset Alzheimer's disease. Tyler will be graduating next month from Tennessee with a degree in communication. That's it for sports. Back to you, Faith and Rebecca.
Thank you, Michael. Recycling isn't just about used plastic bottles and paper.
And as I found out, some UWM students are trying to dress up the art of recycling. There's a new fashion in town, and it's made from recycled products.
I'm wearing recycled t-shirts. There are actually two separate t-shirts. There's one for the skirting and one for the top.
This can only mean one thing. It's Earth Week at UWM.
I think the aim of the fashion show is to kind of show people that there's no need to always be purchasing new goods. Like, there's a lot of potential in thrifting.
The Recycled Fashion Show is a project close to the designer's heart.
I realized I could use old clothes to recycle and help people express themselves, so I thought those were two good reasons.
Vanessa Andrew spends a lot of time preparing for this annual event.
I've worked with Vanessa, honestly, going back 7 years when she was still a student at UWM, and in developing Earth Week programs to bring attention to recycling and to sustainability on campus.
She makes all of the pieces in the show from scratch, using vintage fabrics and recycled materials.
Vanessa tirelessly works to find the right colors, the right everything. I mean, she spends hours in piles of old t-shirts and scraps.
And her efforts do not go unnoticed.
She always puts on a vibrant, colorful, creative show, and hopefully students see it and they get ideas about how to, be innovative with their own wardrobe.
In Milwaukee, I'm Faith Leonard for Panthervision. Thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of Panthervision.
You can watch us anytime on Time Warner's Wisconsin On Demand, Channel 411.
You can also see us on Time Warner Channel 14 and AT&T Uverse Channel 99 at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays.